Zack T. Jr. Zack was an extraordinary man that worked for NCHA for over 30 years. I had the pleasure of getting to know Zack very well, especially over the last 9 or 10 years. Zack was called by many names. Zack T, Zack Jr., Mr. Zack, Mr. Woods, but everybody knew when you mentioned the word Zack exactly who you were talking about. Zack was the toughest, fairest man I'd ever met in my entire life. Zack touched many of our lives for years and years. I was told one time as a young man that if you walked into a room and there was 2 older gentlemen in that room and one of them was talking real loud and everybody was gathered around him and the other gentleman was talking real low, eventually everybody in the room would be over listening to the gentleman that was talking real low. A lot of people, when you ask them for advice or ask them a question, they're real quick to give you an answer. And the special thing that Zack had was he gave a lot of thought to the answer that he was fixing to give you. And most of the time, when you ask Zack a question, he would ask you 1 or 2 questions back before he gave you an answer to your question. What's the biggest change you've seen in the cutting horse industry since you've been involved with it?
Conformation of the horses, for one thing. The number of people entering on the amateur levels. That
was a special gift that Mr. Zack had. He always gave a tremendous amount of thought in the answer that he was going to give you, because he knew the answer that he was giving you would be long term. He didn't care about how much money you had or how much money you had won. He did his very best every day to treat each member equal. You know, he received many awards and recognition for the things he had accomplished here at NCHA, but what was really important to Mr. Zack was how NCHA was. What was the direction of NCHA? How would NCHA be for years and years to come? That's why we have a memorial here in Mr. Zack's name. Very deserving, a mentor for many of us for years and years. He did a lot for this association even after the years that he was retired from here. To Mr. Zack and his family, we would like to say thank you for all the years' service here to the NCHA. We'll greatly miss you.
The greatest equine experience in your life, ride a cutting horse.